Have you heard the news about former Governor General Adrienne Clarkson? She hasn't been exactly frugal with us since she left the Governor General's office in 2005, and I want to do something about it, but I need your help. Former Governor General Adrienne Clarkson has been squeezing every penny she can out of us. She's already collected $1.6 million as part of her official government pension. Oh, but that wasn't enough. Her foundation took a $3 million startup grant plus $7 million over the next 10 years from the federal government as the feds match donations from the private sector to establish her charitable organization, the Institute for Canadian Citizenship. To top it all off, she's claimed more than $1.1 million in office expenses since she left Rideau Hall in 2005. And as recently reported in the National Post, some years, Clarkson managed to max out the expense program spending limit of $206,000 annually. Clarkson has been on the public dime for almost all of her professional life. She started off as a producer and then a broadcast journalist at the CBC. And then she started taking diplomatic postings overseas. Then she was appointed Governor General in 1999 on the recommendation of Prime Minister Jean Chrétien. Spending all that time working for the state broadcaster and then in government, well, that can foster an attitude of entitlement and disrespect for who exactly pays your salary. And past behavior is usually a pretty good predictor of future behavior. From the moment she became Governor General, Clarkson started acting like royalty, and then she started spending like royalty too. In 2004, Clarkson's travel expenses to and from her cottage on an island in Ontario's Georgian Bay came under scrutiny. Clarkson began chartering a private turboprop aircraft to get to the cottage to the tune of $650 an hour. In 2003, Clarkson and 59 of her closest friends from Canada's social and cultural elite went on a tour of the northern part of the globe to ostensibly promote Canada. The trip was, according to some reports, budgeted at just over $1 million. Other reports say $4.5 million, but either way, the posh party came in at $5.3 million for just the first leg of the trip, and resulted in the government canceling the second portion of the trip, a big polar celebrity party for Canada's richest and fanciest people, and Clarkson charged the whole thing to the taxpayer. In 2011, 6 full years after Clarkson left Rideau Hall, it came to light that Clarkson began charging the taxpayer for what was labeled temporary help costs starting back in 2006. Some of those costs were as high as $170,000 per year, but they consistently came in at over $110,000 per year. She was under scrutiny for the exact same spending problem in the past as she is now, but no, it never dampened her drive to take advantage of us. In 2011, it was estimated that Clarkson had already charged taxpayers at least $500,000 since leaving her office of the Governor General. Clarkson said it was for temporary secretarial help because she gets upwards of 200 letters and between 20 and 30 requests a month for speaking engagements. Under Clarkson, the Governor General's office budget tripled to nearly $41 million annually. And as the Canadian Taxpayers Federation rightly points out, the provinces don't allow their lieutenant's governor to behave this way and continue expensing their expensive lifestyles to Canadians after they're gone from the office. Even the Queen and her family is more accountable than this partisan Princess Clarkson. I'm not even joking. The royal household is subject to the same audit scrutiny as other government expenditures via the National Audit Office. That's something similar to the Auditor General Office here in Canada, and the Public Accounts Committee. The public can view the Queen's yearly expenses and audit reports online. This means the Queen of Canada, Elizabeth, the woman whom we paid Clarkson a generous salary to represent, is more accountable than Clarkson herself. Let's contrast Clarkson with another former Governor General. When his term of office ended in 1984, Edward Richard Schreier announced that for The next 5 years, his Governor General's pension would be used to fund the Canadian Shield Foundation, an organization that studies the flora and fauna of the Canadian Shield and provides grant monies and employment in that area. And Mr. Schreier continues to serve as its chairman today. And please, you know what? Don't get me wrong. I actually like the monarchy and what it represents. I'm a big fan of the Queen. I like our Canadian symbols of our historical ties to the British Empire. I like the tradition. I like the stability and continuity that the monarchy provides in our parliamentary system. I'm a conservative, so I want to conserve our culture and our history, and the monarchy is inarguably part of all of that. But boy, this Clarkson, she is making it hard for me to keep feeling this way. I like to think I'm a bit of a monarchist, but Clarkson is making it tough, and I just can't be alone in that sentiment. She's hurting the institution of the monarchy and damaging the public's opinion of the role of the Governor General with her extreme case of entitlement and pampered, uppity behavior. Clarkson's damaging the Queen's brand. So I want to bring some trust back to the institution, and sunlight, as you know, is always the best disinfectant. I want to audit Adrienne Clarkson. I want everybody to see how she's been spending our tax dollars on herself, and maybe the scrutiny and shame will prompt her to stop this frivolous waste and abuse of her former role. And as an added bonus, we might just scare some future Governor Generals and the current Governor General straight. Maybe we might make them think twice before they blow some cash that isn't theirs on themselves. So I've got a petition to the Auditor General of Canada, Michael Ferguson. It's his job to conduct independent audits and studies that provide objective information, advice, and assurance to Parliament, territorial legislatures, boards of the Crown, Crown corporations, government, and especially us Canadians. I want him to audit Clarkson, open up her books, go through them, show us where the money is going. I've got a petition, and it's a simple one. I'm asking the Auditor General of Canada, Michael Ferguson, to audit former Governor General Adrienne Clarkson and do a full and transparent accounting of her expenses to bring some accountability back to her role and restore the public's faith in the Governor General. That's it. But I need your help because this is your money Clarkson is blowing after all. Please sign the petition at auditclarkson.com and please share. Clarkson's out of control and she needs to be reined back in, and shining a light on her might be the only way that we can do it. Sign the petition at auditclarkson.com. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. I'm tired of former Governor General Adrienne Clarkson abusing her taxpayer-funded expense account. I want to know what she's spending our money on. That's why I have a petition calling on Canada's Auditor General Michael Ferguson to do a full and transparent accounting of Adrienne Clarkson's expenses. To see the video and sign the petition, go to auditclarkson.com.